Reflections from Friends. Our lifelong friends, Mike Miner, Arthur Johnson, and Belinda Cunningham-Reeves.
God is great. Amen. And, as we travel through life, we encounter friends along certain points in our life. But we're lucky when we have lifelong friends. And I'm just completely blessed to have Thomas as a lifelong friend. And I can tell you many stories about Thomas and when we grew up, because, we grew up all the way through Washington Douglas and Jackson Junior High, and then we graduated from the famed class of JCM 77. Where you at, JCM 77? I know we got some of us up in here. All right, so Arthur, you just smiling, man. You're a JCM 77 too. And Lee, you on the camera? Goodness gracious. There's only one. We see you back there, Phyllis and Jimmy. Okay, great. And Reginald. Okay, but the thing is that you think about the genesis of lifelong friendships, and there is only one word that can describe a lifelong friendship. And that word is love. And just like Thomas and Margaret's love has endured for the last 40 years, I remember when they first started. Thomas, man, you're a senior. Margaret in the 9th grade. Come on, man. So we went, both of us, we went off into the Army and did our thing in the Army. Next thing I know, in, August of 81, right? I was a newly commissioned second lieutenant in the United States Army, stationed at Fort McClellan, Alabama, and my best friend Thomas was getting married. And guess who showed up? Me. But anyway, so the thing is that Thomas and Margaret, I told Thomas I wouldn't stay up here all day because he knew I'd stay up here all day. Congratulations. And like Kenneth said, you go to Thomas' house, they stay, you smell the breakfast in the morning, and you don't want to leave, but they kind of overwhelm you, and you say, I can't stay with this too long. But anyway, I appreciate the friendship over the years, and I'm going to have one story to tell about Thomas. When we were growing up, and you know how boys are. Boys are boys, right? We do boys things, right? Well, Thomas wanted to play the piano. And we go out. We need another man to play basketball. We need another man to play football. Go get Thomas. Thomas at piano lessons. And I regret every day that I wasn't sitting right beside Thomas taking piano lessons, because I'll be as great a musician as he is. Congratulations, Thomas and Margaret. And Margaret, our families have been friends for a long time, and we appreciate that friendship that we've had with your family and with Thomas's family. And God bless you guys. And there's something special in the envelope for you guys that I want to see 20 years from now. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arthur Johnson, and I'd like to say I got the privilege this evening to be able to discuss and talk about my old battle buddy up there, Thomas, and his lovely wife, Margaret. It was mentioned about friends. Now, sometimes people use that term loosely, friends, but when you got a real good friend, it's often we don't have good friends. And I definitely like to place them in that category of being a definitely good friend. Long time friend. I can remember Margaret and I stayed on the same street, on Magnolia Street. My goodness, I think we was 9, 10, 11 years old. So that tells you how far back we go. Thomas and I, talking about a long-time friend, I can remember back in the day, 17 years old, I think it was, I used to wash dishes down at Joe's Cafe. Y'all probably don't remember Joe's Cafe, but and Thomas worked in the barber shop. It was kind of an alley right around Woolworths. And me and Thomas used to take our breaks. Like I said, we were about 16, 17 years old, and we was getting ready to graduate the next year. We were sitting out in that alley, and I said, Thomas, I'm tired of washing these dishes. I'm getting out of school next year, and I don't want to be in this place washing the dishes. Tom worked in the barbershop. You know, he was sweeping up around there. Tom said, I'm about tired of sweeping up this hair in this barbershop, too. So I said, what are we going to do? He said, I don't know. The thought came up, we're going to join the military. So Thomas and I, June of 1977, went in on a buddy system together and joined the military. Yes, we did. And both of us, I mean, we 18 years old, scared out of our wits. We two little country boys from Jackson, Tennessee, you know, heading off into the world. But I'm telling you, I couldn't have left Jackson and left this town with a better friend than Thomas. Thomas, of course, he was a smart one. 3-4 years later, he got out and went to Officer Candidate School, and I stayed in as being enlisted. But those were some good years. It's still continuing being good years. Now, again, we're in junior high school, and here all these many years later, that bond, and I say bond, is still there. We left, we went our separate ways in the military, but even though we had distance from us, we across the seas, over, you know, other parts of the country, that contact we never lost. That's a true sign of friendship. That's a bond right there. Years later, after we both retired, Thomas was in St. Louis. I eventually moved to Memphis. It wasn't too long ago that, bizarre thing about it, we all ended up within not even living right now today, more than 10 minutes apart from each other. And again, that bond is there. And again, like I said, it's not too many times that you can call a friend a true friend. And I definitely like to say with Margaret and Thomas both, they have definitely, without these years, have definitely been true friends. Love you both, and definitely congratulations.
Good evening. I am Belinda Reeves, lifelong friend of Margaret, and I've been charged today to tell you about my friendship with Margaret. And as the song says, one of the old songs, Margaret and I go a long way back. We go all the way back to, I know some of you from Jackson remember Fights Bottom. Margaret and I, we were on what was called back then when you would join church, we were on the mornings bench together. So we joined church together. I was 9, Margaret was 10. We did a lot of church activities together. We also sang in the choir together at church. If you don't know, my mother and Margaret's mother, Mama Teen, they were actually high school classmates. So I like to think that Margaret and I were predestined to be friends, at least to meet. But who knew 50 years later we would still be friends? And it's just like Arthur just said, it's that bond. We have a bond that has transcended over all those years. Marriage, kids, grandkids for her, but a grandchild for her, rather. And I love Margaret. And you can't talk about Margaret without talking about Thomas. Because like I say, we sang in the choir together. Well, who do you think played the piano? Thomas. So junior high, high school, we in the choir and stuff. Margaret and Thomas are dating. So I just wanted to say, I looked up the word, and it's talking about what is friendship, or what is a friend, I should say. And it lists some traits. It says trustworthy, honest, dependable, loyal, have empathy for others, non-judgmental, and a good listener. Well, yes, Margaret definitely has all of those traits. So I would definitely say that she is a good friend. I want to thank you all, Thomas and Margaret, for asking me 40 years ago to be in your wedding. And thank you again today for allowing me this opportunity to stand up here and just reflect on the love that I have for you all. So congratulations. May the Lord continue to bless you all and bless your family. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary. Happy 40th anniversary.
Got my timer going there. Good evening. All right, greetings here to Thomas and Margaret and to the family, and then all of you who are here. This is just a very beautiful occasion for us to be able to witness 40 years of a union. An old guy told me a long time ago, he said, in marriage, you really got two things to consider. He said, for the guy, you got to ask yourself, well, how much of her stuff how much of her stuff about me that she's going to put up with, and vice versa. How much of her stuff that I can put up with. And once you figure that out, you're pretty much on smooth sailing. So I guess they figured that out a long time ago, and they're on smooth sailing. But I want to talk about Austin P. I've known Mercer at our affiliation there at Austin P. When we stood up a military alumni chapter, he pretty much stood this chapter up, and he reached out to me and asked me, would I be the vice president? And I said, sure. But that meant that he would just tell me what to do, and I would have to just do all this stuff. But I didn't mind because that's the way he is, right? He loves to dictate, tell people what to do. But he has a smooth way about it, so it kind of makes you feel good while you're doing it. So after a while, he transitioned. He says, well, I want you to take over the chapter. I said, okay. So I took over the chapter, and I thought, now I'm going to do things my way. Well, no, I still couldn't do it my way because he still sent me emails and called me and said, well, no, you need to do this, and you need to make sure we're doing this. And he's all at Alumni Relations Office calling them, telling them what to do. So he pretty much just hijacked the whole program, and still to this day, he's pulling strings. We did 4 scholarship endowments for the military alumni chapter for our military affiliated students. And he was the brainchild pretty much behind all 4. Again, working from here, pulling strings, making phone calls, making that stuff happen. So, and he was awarded last year one of the most prestigious awards at Austin P from the Board of Trustees for military service. So he's well known there. He's well regarded there in the military community and at Austin P throughout the National Alumni Association and the executive board. And we love to see him every year when he and his wife come back. And we hopefully this year, on the 8th of October, we'll be able to see you guys again. And it's always a beautiful thing to see the Mercers. When they come, they actually shake the house. And some of you all have been up there with him. And like I said, but when he comes, he's pretty much in charge. I just pretty much just bow and says, yes, whatever you want me to do, great one. But again, thank you all. Thank you, Thomas and Margaret, for the things you do. And I love you guys. And I love the friendship that we share. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thomas, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad. I am so excited to be here with Thomas and Margaret. Some of you may know, and there may be some that don't know, that Thomas is actually the 5th Toone sibling. We love Thomas, and we love the Mercer family. And we've been friends since we were children, our family and Thomas, and actually the Mercer family. And someone mentioned about Thomas working very young. My parents were so proud when Thomas was working, and they would say, Thomas is working, y'all need to get a job. And sometimes we would ask our parents if Thomas came by, and my dad would always say, no, Thomas is working, y'all need to get a job. And one time we said something about Thomas always has money. And they said, yeah, Thomas works. Y'all need to get a job. Thomas worked very early on. And we always knew that there was something special about Thomas. We didn't know what it was, but we kept saying, it's something special about Thomas. Thomas was very special as a child. And as we grew older, we started to hear the people at our church say, God is going to do some great things with Thomas. And we're like, Thomas? Yeah. As we continued to grow older, we understood what they were saying, and God has done great things with Thomas. We're so proud of him, so proud of Margaret. Thomas and Margaret have traveled the world together, and wherever they have landed, they've made an impact in the community. We're proud of you, Thomas. We're proud of you, Margaret. We love you. When we went to visit with Thomas and Margaret, it's the same thing that everybody said. They load you up. Now, we took it. We were packing up. We was like, Margaret, you got some more containers? You got some foil? You got any cups with some lids on it? We took it all. We took it all. My parents loved you, Thomas, and you know that. When my mom would get us cha-cha pickles, she would have 5 jars of cha-cha. And my brother Keith would always eat his up, and he wanted another jar, and she would say, no, that's for Thomas and Margaret. Thomas always had his portion when my mother was living. And Thomas, what I want to say to you is you have really been a good friend to our family. We love you. You have helped our family tremendously. You've spoken into me. You've spoken into my nephew. And we appreciate what God is doing in your life. The 40th wedding anniversary is the ruby. And Margaret, I don't have a ruby for you, but I bet Thomas did. My mother would be so excited to hear what Thomas was doing for Margaret. I bet Thomas got Margaret something. Bet Thomas got Margaret a diamond ring and some diamond earrings and a necklace, and she was excited to hear about that. And so Margaret, I bet Thomas has a ruby somewhere. Happy 40th anniversary. We know that the next 40, you all will glide into it, and it will be splendid. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I had the 6-minute speech, and I had to whittle it down, but it was hard to get it down within the time frame. I'm Lucy Clifton, and as a representative of the so-called St. Charles crew, it's my pleasure to share some reflections about the relationship we have with Margaret and Tom. The crew includes Pam Coxum, Bernie Coxum, and their sons Quentin and Justin, Ronald Clifton, and myself, and our kids Aaron and Danielle, and sometimes Nate and Keisha Davis would join us. We met through our children and through church. For Ronald and me, our sons Aaron and TJ met in 5th grade. Becky David. Then we met Margaret and Tom when the boys wanted to go to each other's house to play video games, and we like to know their parents. So when we met them, we found out that they actually lived in the other part of our subdivision, so that was a bonus. Soon after, we saw them at church when Tom became the music director. While the kids enjoyed getting to know each other through children's church, where Pam Coxum was the director, we got to know Tom and Margaret and bonded, over our love of Jesus Christ, gospel music, our commitment to family, and really, really good food. Each of our families moved to the St. Louis area from elsewhere through corporate relocations. And many of us didn't have family in that area, so we kind of became a family. At some point, there was a holiday, probably Easter, where everybody was going to be home in St. Charles, and someone suggested, why don't we just get together and have a meal? Who knew that that would be the start of a great tradition that included the 4th of July and especially Thanksgiving? Each of us had our specialties that were must-have menu items, but for Margaret, it was pretty much anything she cooked. But can we talk about her roles? Yes, we can. I could go on and on, but again, 3 minutes. While we bonded in the kitchen, the guys posted up in front of the TV watching sports. Our boys were younger, and they played video games. Being the only girls, Tasha and Danielle gravitated toward the kitchen and sometimes pitching in where they could. Sometimes the family matriarchs, Margaret's mom and Ronald's mom, would be in town, and their presence at these gatherings made them that much richer. Both have gone on to glory now. Sometimes we would meet at the casino in St. Charles for the all-you-can-eat crab legs buffet, or we'd take a trip across the river to Lottawatta Creek. It was all about the fellowship, genuine appreciation for each other's company. As our sons have gotten married, Margaret, Pam, Tasha, Danielle, and I have made room in the kitchen for their wives. And I should mention that all of our kids who are married have all been in each other's weddings. When our daughters choose to take husbands, the guys will scoot over and share the sofa, but probably not the remote control. Recipes have been shared, reworked, and perfected. TJ, I see you with the short ribs. Some of us have relocated, but the tradition continues. Our last gathering included the first grandchildren. This year, TJ and Kim opened their beautiful home in the Chicago area and artfully included some of those timeless dishes to their table. A few of us were trying to figure out how long we've known each other and have been doing this tradition, and we figured it was around 20 years or so, but we're really not sure. Over the years, it's been unspoken, but understood that we would always be there for each other through the fun times and celebrations, but also through some dark days. As we celebrate this beautiful milestone in Margaret and Tom's life, we are honored to be part of this day, but more importantly, to be a part of their lives. On behalf of the St. Charles crew, we wish you many, many more years together. Margaret, Tom, congratulations on 40 years. We wish you much, much happiness from the St. Charles crew.